Okay, gotta hit the OK button here. All right, well, welcome everybody. Is that time again? It is Wednesday morning. It is Atomic Habits, our weekly team meeting. And as always, we bring in rock star guests, rock star trainers. We don't mess around here. So I would put this as a reoccurring meeting training session in your calendar. It's 30 to 45 minutes. And quite frankly, through the years, I've been doing this 28 years, most agents make a mistake of always working in their business and not scheduling time to work on their business. This would be one that you would schedule to work on your business, because we're bringing in people that are delivering to you the latest, greatest in this changing, shifting industry and real estate market and so on. And so today, I've gone ahead and brought in Candice Garcia, which I'm super excited about. She is the Senior Director of EXP University. She's the real deal. She's done everything under the sun, it seems like, in real estate. I mean, she's been, an individual agent. She was, built a team and a team leader. She was a team manager, trainer, coach. I mean, she's done it all. She said, even cleaning the toilets in the office, if we needed to, like whatever needed to be done, she's done it. And so EXP was just really blessed to be able to hire her and bring her into the EXP University, working with, I just had a brain drain on our good guys.
Our new CLO, Brian Ellington.
Brian Ellington, my man. I can't believe I drained on the name there. Brian Ellington. So they're the dynamic duo, though, revamping EXP University. And for those of you that are not going to EXPCon, that's a mistake, and it's not too late. You should go, because that's kind of their coming out party of the revamped of EXP University, I believe, on the major function. They've got 10 separate tracks of learning that are specialized, and they are so giddy excited. Anytime Brian gets on it, he's like literally giddy excited, and he's not the most giddy excited guy. It's pretty level. So when he gets giddy excited, you should pay attention, and you should get your tickets and get there to EXPCon, because it's going to be awesome. So with that being said, Candice, thank you so much for carving time out of your busy schedule. And you're going to pour into the agents today. We're excited. I may every now and then interject a question, but take it away. It's yours.
Awesome. I'm so excited. Can I ask a favor? Would you mind helping me with my slide deck? If you wouldn't mind, I want to make sure I'm active in chat and then I can pay attention. Would you mind running slides for me, Matthew?
Yeah. How do I do that?
I sent them to you in our chat in Workplace, my friend.
Okay. Hold on.
Thank you.
Oops. I did the wrong one. Bear with me. Go ahead.
No problem. I appreciate you.
So you put it in the chat on the Zoom?
No, in our Workplace chat.
Oh,
do you want me to put it in the Zoom? Y'all can share it as well. No problem.
If you can do it on the Zoom, that's easier, because I don't think I'm
it
logged in on Workplace right now. There we go. All right. Cool. Actually, Eric, you might be able to help on that easier. Can you hit that link, and then she can tell you when to transition it?
Sure thing.
Thank you, team.
We'll get you.
Appreciate it. Well, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, EXP family. Of course, I'm a teacher and instructor here, so I'm used to saying hello at all time zones, depending on when you are joining me. As Matthew said, my name is Candice Garcia, and I'm the Senior Director of EXP University. I'm excited to be here with you today to share some tips and tricks on how to build a powerful business fast. So we are right on slide number one, y'all. Just my little face there.
Yep, we got it.
Give me 1 second.
Can you see it, Candice?
I am seeing it. Yep, if you just want to go back just a couple slides, perfect.
Sorry, give me 1 moment here.
I appreciate your help, Eric. All right, so while Eric's doing that, folks, as I said, I'm a teacher, so I'm going to ask all of you to get ready with me today. If you can, I'm going to request cameras on, because I want to be able to see your face. I want to be able to interact with you. I want to feel your energy. I'm going to ask that you have a notebook in hand, because I'm going to give you some really great resources and some tips and tricks today. I want to make sure you're taking notes. And lastly, I want to make sure that you've got your phone in hand, because we're going to do a little assignment with your phone in a bit, but also because I'm going to have some QR codes at the end of this session. And I want to make sure that you all can scan those. All right. How are we looking?
Should happen just 1 second.
No problem. So how many of you here have already heard of EXP University, already taken one of our courses, or already gotten connected to the resources that you can find at EXPU?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. I love seeing those hands up. So what we're going to talk about today is I'm going to be talking to you about how to build a powerful business fast, but I'm also going to be talking to you about how you can do that utilizing resources right here through EXPU. So what I would love to do is to get started by doing something that we do in all of our EXP University classes. If you've come to FastCap, you'll know this activity is we always like to start by posting our wins in the chat box. Now, this is an important thing to do anytime you're teaching or training to celebrate yourself and to celebrate the other people with you. So let me know here in the chat box, what have been your personal and professional wins so far this week? Double ending my listing today. Perfect. I love that, Matthew. What are we working on? What are some of our
Okay,
wins?
I got 2 big dog leaders to go to EXPCon. Woo!
Woo.
That is amazing. I love it. I love it. Well, if you join one of our EXP sessions, folks, this is what we always do. We love to start by celebrating ourselves, celebrating each other, and to see the goals that we all have. We all are coming from different places, different communities, different businesses, but we all have different goals to accomplish. And that's what we're all here to do together as a team, right? So love seeing that. Thank you for playing along. Thank you for participating. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, I'm here repping for EXPU today. This is actually part of our Executive Masterclass series. So our CLO, Brian Ellington, wanted me to be here today. He unfortunately wasn't able to make it, but you can actually catch this session and the rest of EXP's executive team every Thursday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on our EXP YouTube channel. You can learn from Holly, Leo, Kendall, even Glenn himself on strategies that made them successful agents first, right? The amazing thing about the executive C-suite at EXP is everyone here been agents, right? So we want to learn from the best. Come and hang out with our executives again every Thursday, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard on our YouTube channel. But for today, you get me as your conductor and instructor for Build a Powerful Business Fast. Now, if you can't tell, I am, of course, a teacher. I'm also a mother of 4 and a realtor. Quick story time. I got into the business in 2008. Yes, 2008. That was a fun time to get into real estate.
Right.
My husband had just been laid off. We had no other source of income. I was a young mom with 4 small children and had no idea how I was going to provide for my kids the next day. So what did I do? Well, I made the brave, maybe crazy decision that each of you on this call has made, and I chose to get into real estate. Why? Well, I wasn't going to compromise the life I wanted. I knew I wanted to be home with my kids. I wasn't going to lose that. I didn't want another job. I didn't want another boss. Don't tell Glenn I said that. You know, I've had my side hustles in the past, but I needed a career. I needed something that I could do that would allow me to have my own hours, to be my own boss. And so I decided to take charge of my destiny, to become my own hero, to change my life, and to sell real estate, right? So how many of you remember making that decision? How many of you remember the circumstances
Long
that
time
came to
ago.
making that decision?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, right? How many of you questioned that decision since you first made it? How many of you are still unsure if it was crazy or if it was brave and heroic? Right? Well, I'm here to tell you that it was the right decision. And I'm here to tell you that through EXP University, we're helping you and all new agents find the confidence to know that this is the path forward for them. Again, if I, at my young 28-year-old self with 4 babies, no training, no education, could come here and do it, then absolutely you can do it too. So we want you to know that you do have the time, you do have the leads, and after you take the training through EXP University, you are going to have the skills to do what you need to do to be powerful in this business. You just have to decide to do it. So that's what this session is going to be all about. Let's go ahead and go to that next slide, please. And let me just start by saying congratulations, because you accomplished 90% of life. You already showed up ready to work, right? So in the words of Peloton's Jess Sims, the hardest part of this session is done. You're here. So don't underestimate that. Now, what's the second hardest part of any journey in life? It's just your life, that you actually have to live it, and you actually have to give yourself permission to live your life and to focus on you. Because the truth is that your friends, your family, prospects, clients, kids, and the entire internet are screaming at you for your attention. So what our advice is let them scream. And we're going to ask you to give yourself the space, the grace, and most importantly, the permission to do what you need to do in order to be successful. And moreover, we're going to encourage you to teach the people in your life to give you the same. Aren't they the ones that we're working so hard for anyway? So how many of you have learned to teach the people in your life boundaries? For many of you, if you have not, these are going to mean having really tough conversations. But I assure you, if you are new to boundaries, let me encourage you wholeheartedly that boundaries are important and necessary. The world will respond to your boundaries if you learn to set and communicate them. And the best part is, remember, hardest part is over, right? You're already here. So let's talk about success and business. Next slide, please. Rockefeller said that success in business requires 3 things: training, discipline, and hard work. So this has become a mantra of EXPU because we know that we can provide the training. We know we can give you the tips and tricks to create discipline. And all we're asking you to do is show up with the last one, which is hard work, right? So next slide, please. Let's get into today's agenda. Today, we're going to talk about committing to your business. We're going to talk about owning your business, building your business operation systems, feeding your brain, getting into action, and inviting accountability. And again, all through the scope of how you can utilize the tools through EXPU. So first things first, next slide, please. First, you have to decide to commit. Now, if no one's ever told you commitment is a daily decision, anyone here who's married, who has kids, or even who's running a business can tell you that every day you have to decide to commit to your partners, to your business, to your clients. Every day you wake up and you decide who and what you're going to commit your time and your energy to. So let me ask you in the chat box, what have you been committing to? What have you been committing to? Let me know. What have you been committing to? And if you're not sure what you've been committing to, let me do a quick exercise. Let me ask you all to get out your phones. How many of you have iPhones? I'm going to assume everyone. Who of you is turning my group chat green? Unacceptable. All right, I'm going to ask you to just swipe to your right. And guess what? You know, if you do that, your iPhone will actually tell you where you've been spending your time. So when I'm asking, what are you committing to? And you're saying, I don't have any time to commit to my business. I don't have time to get it done. How many are you spending hours on social, hours scrolling, hours on the phone, hours away from your life, from your business, from all of the things I'm asking you to commit to? Now, I'm going to go ahead and do it because 1, it's blurred, and 2, it's first thing in the morning, so it doesn't look so bad. But I'm going to encourage you to do this exercise at the end of your day and to get a good idea of where you were deciding to commit your time to. Because I promise you, nobody likes how good this looks. All of us can do a better job of where we're spending our time. So decide to commit. Now, in the chat box, if you are ready to commit today, if you're ready to commit to EXPU, if you're ready to commit to whatever goals that you have in front of you, if you didn't post a win this morning when we first get started, can you write right now, I commit, I commit. I commit. I commit to whatever decision I'm making today is going to make tomorrow better for me. I commit to it. Only Justin, come on, guys. Not only Justin is ready to commit today. Who's ready to commit today? There we go. I commit. I commit. I commit. I commit. Because when you say it out loud, when you write it down, you invite accountability, right? You invite accountability. So don't think I'm not going to come find you, Justin and Matthew and Clark and Kurt and Rachel next week and say, hey, did you get done the things that you committed to me on Wednesday, right? So decide to commit. Now, I've got 4 daughters. They are no longer babies as they were in 2008. They are 18, 19, 21, and 24. And what I tell my girls all the time is the only thing that you are in charge of in life, the only thing that you can control are your actions and your reactions. It's all you can control. They're the only 2 things in the entire world, in your entire life, your actions and your reactions. So today, you get to decide what your action is going to be, and you get to decide to commit to whatever it is today that you need to commit to. So here's what I'd like you to do. Next slide, please. I want you to say this to yourself. You're all on mute, or if you're not, you can put yourselves on mute. And I just want you to say, I will build a highly successful real estate business within the next year. Say it out loud to yourself. How many of you doubt that when you say it out loud? How many of you have team members or people that you work with who you know are doubting themselves when they're saying this sentence out loud? So what we want to do is we want to help to address the fear that you may be feeling, post-NAR if you're an experienced agent, that you may be feeling just getting into the business if you're brand new, that you may be feeling as a team leader trying to guide your team through this changing market. If you are dealing with any kind of fears, and all of us are, right? All of us are dealing with something. I want you to explore that fear. I want you to explore that feeling. I want you to explore that doubt. And then what I want you to do is I want you to completely dismiss it. I want you to give all of those fears, those doubts, those negative thoughts in your mind, look at them and completely dismiss them. Give them no energy. Say to them, or say to yourself, yeah, thanks, self. That was interesting. That was an interesting comment. And then let it go. Do not let the negativity take root, right? Because it's oftentimes the negativity that stands in our way. It's all of the doubt that gets in our way of actually producing and accomplishing what we're here to accomplish. So let me give you an example. What if I told you that eXp University had built a program that in just 6 weeks could get you on track to build a highly successful business, and that we based this program off of eXp agents who had found success in their first year. So we went and we found all of the agents who had at least 2 deals in their first 6 months, at least 6 deals in their first 12 months. We went and said, how did you find this success? Now, we didn't go to agents who were, married to another agent or who had a dad that was a builder. We went and found agents who were doing this work organically themselves. Now, if I told you that eXp University did all of the work of interviewing these agents and detailing out how they found their success, and then built a roadmap for you and for your agents to take to ensure that you could repeat that kind of success, would that eliminate a lot of the negative self-talk and doubts that you had about yourself or your ability to replicate it?
Absolutely.
So how
Tell us
excited are
more.
you to know that we did do that?
Tell us more.
Tell us more. Next slide, please. Thank you. So let me tell you all a little bit about FastCap. Now, how many of you have already heard of FastCap? This is my favorite question to ask. Hands up if you've heard of it. Oh, I love to hear that. So if you're not chatting me every day asking how to get your agents in FastCap, then we're going to have to go through an entire FastCap session. So let me tell you a little bit about the results that we got in our pilot. Last month or this summer over June and July, we piloted our first FastCap series. This is a 6-week interactive program. It's fully immersive for agents that's going to combine live trainings and also an e-learning on-demand element. Within those 6 weeks, at an average of 109, only 109, we had over 1,000 who registered, but only 109 who reported, they averaged over 20,000 activities, 227 contracts signed, 1,597 CMAs completed, 183 open houses, 9,348 real talks, which are conversations that we make sound cool, 566 appointments. Now, when you do that math, that's 5.4 buyer and listing appointments per person and 1.9 buyer and listing agreements per person. How awesome is that math, y'all? Are you seeing the results and are you getting excited?
And did you say this is a 6-week period?
This is over 6 weeks.
That's phenomenal.
Right? So let me ask you, Matthew and everyone on this call, what did your last 6 weeks look like? Look like this? Because if it did, then awesome. Congratulations. Why aren't you over here teaching with me at the university, right? Send me your name and number. I'm going to get you hooked up. But if it didn't, then I think that this is the program for you. And I think that you should send your agents to us so that we can start creating these kind of numbers across eXp. This is what we want to see. We want to see FastCap be the tool that you are begging me for and that everyone in the industry is talking about. So get excited about this. All right, now let me ask you to get serious in this chat box. How many of you are seeing numbers like this? How many of you have teams that are seeing these numbers? All right, then let me show you what we've come up with, what we've learned in our pilot and why we're doing what we're doing. Next slide, please. Now, what is this and why is this? We don't want to scare you, but so far from NAR, they're reporting that 49% of agents did either 1 or 0 deals in the last year. Why do you think this is? Oh, congratulations, Kurt. Why
They
do
don't
you
have
think
a
we've only
roadmap.
got-
They don't have a game plan or a roadmap to follow. They don't have accountability. They're not putting the work and time in because they don't know which direction to go into. There's a lot of choices. They're hearing a lot of different things and they're like, where do I start? They don't take
That's
action.
exactly it. It's not the market, right? It's not the market. That's not why agents aren't working. It's not the interest rates. It's people. It's people who are not getting training and educated, who are not doing the 3 things, right? They're not following the formula of training, discipline, and hard work. And so they're failing. But the agents who are actually getting it done are doing what? They're doing one thing, and that is they're making a decision. So next slide, please. As we did our research of these top producing agents to find their tips and tricks of the business, we discovered that they had each made 4 key decisions for 4 key decisions to help them be successful agents. So what did they all decide? It's pretty interesting, the research that we did. We found that they decided to be real estate owners and not salespeople. The people that we interviewed understood that this is a business. They understood that this is different from being a salesperson. And in fact, they understood that there's an element of heroism to being an agent, to being the person that helps people make the biggest financial decision of their lives for many of them, right? And so as a business owner, they saw it as their responsibility, and I think that's also a key, to grow their business. They didn't blame the brokerage, they didn't blame the team leads, they didn't blame the leads themselves. They understood that as a business owner, it was their job to make the rest of those key decisions that were going to ensure that they had a powerful and sustainable business. So number 1, they decided to be real estate business owners. Number 2, they decided to be great. What does greatness look like to you? Now, I'm sure that when I say they decided to be great, you're immediately thinking, they're icons. They had, the number of closings is probably what you're equating with greatness. But what they did is they decided to be great at whatever it was that they were doing. They decided to be great at professionalism. They decided to be great at making connections. They decided to be great on socials. They didn't decide that greatness equaled income or closed properties, but that greatness was something that could be sustainable. Think about the GOATs. Think about, when I say the word GOAT, who do you think of? Michael Jordan, LeBron. It's about creating something that's sustainable. It's about giving back to the community. It's about being larger than life, not just being good at what you do, but about affecting everything around you. That's true greatness. So number 2, they decided to be great. Number 3, they committed to consistency of effort. I love that we call this atomic habits, because atomic habits is something that we use very much throughout FastCap and through EXP University, because we're all about the consistency of effort. Churchill said, continuous effort, not strength or intelligence, is the key to unlocking our potential. So you will always succeed in efforts. The only way you're going to fail is if you stop trying. Decision number 4, they decided to commit to a plan, which includes training, right? So they decided to commit to a plan. They decided to include in that plan their training and their discipline, and that's how they've gotten where they are. All right, next slide. Own your business. So we're all business owners, but do you really take ownership of your business and the activities needed to drive it? Let's move on to the next one. So here's what the real estate cycle looks like. You're all familiar with this. Pretty much comprised of 2 big parts, which are going to be lead generation and conversion, and then the contract to close cycle. So NAR says that this takes about 100 days for this cycle, right? So where will we be in 100 days? 100 days will take us up to December 27th. Where do you want to be on December 27th? What do you want to be accomplishing on December 27th? December 27th is that, that place between Christmas and New Year where you're really not sure what day it is or what date it is. You're just kind of floating along. That's going to be December 27th. Where do you want to be? Do you want to be hustling to get that next sale? Do you want to be worried about what Q1 looks like for you, for your team? Or do you want to just be able to enjoy your holiday and not worry about the hustle that you're going to have to do at the beginning of January to sustain? Because the truth is, next slide, we are all familiar with this pipeline, right? We're all riding that real estate roller coaster where we're working hard to get those leads, to convert those leads, to get it closed, and then we start again, right? Always working to fill that pipeline. So next slide, please. Thank you. There is a concept in real estate, really in business, of the plateau of latent potential and that valley of disappointment. And this valley is where agents don't give enough time on a task or to create, to see that hockey stick effect that we want in our business. So whether you're a solo agent or on a team, there's still that time period where we really have to get over it and overcome that valley of disappointment. Now, I love this slide because look how close you are to actually succeeding, right? When you start to give up, you're just that close to actually hitting that, actually hitting those results. All right, next slide. So what would we like you to do? What we'd like you to do is to build the right habits. So if you see here, we're asking our FastCap, we're asking our FastCap students, you know, how are they meeting new people? And this is how we're getting them to convert their contracts to their appointments to, or their contracts to appointments to listings. All right, next slide. Building your business operation system. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the FastCap program flow. So in FastCap, you know, again, I love that you call this atomic habits. One of our favorite quotes from James Clear is, "You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems." Next slide, please. So all of these represent our business operation systems. Weird, right? That we don't want to be winging these. We want to minimize the learning curve on creating effective systems for our BOS. So being with EXP, you actually have a lot of awesome opportunities to get tailored help for building your business operations system. And one of the things that we do in FastCap is to help you get connected to your mentors, to your sponsors, so that you have all of this tailored for you. And that's what we really help you build over the 6 weeks of the program, is your business operating system. Next slide, please. One of the biggest habits that we want to help build for you and for our FastCap students is the idea of growing your sphere of influence so that it leads into, so that it creates all of your various lead generation facets. So in this slide, you'll see that in FastCap, we ask you to choose a few different prospecting and marketing sources. We don't care what you're doing, we just care that you're doing the work every single day. Next slide, please. So we all know that our SOI is our greatest asset, but it's hard to break through the noise and think outside of the box. So again, one of the things that we're doing in FastCap, and one of the things we want to encourage you all to do, is to really lean into new ways of reaching out to your SOI. We've got an agent named Shannon Maxwell who plays an online game of building castles, and I'm really not sure exactly what the game is. I'm not a gamer myself, but what Shannon does is she actually uses the game to build her sphere of influence. And so what Shannon does is, if you need a virtual hammer to build your castle, in order to get that virtual hammer, you're going to have to go get it for Shannon. She plays the game all the time. She's got all the tools, the tricks, the trades that you need. In order to get that tool, she's going to make you register on her website to give you all of her contact information, and then she will give you the tool that you need for the game. She's building her business. She's closing deals like crazy. She's going to be one of our speakers at EXPCon telling us how she's doing it, because it's all about thinking outside of the box. All right. Next slide. So as we jump into new lead generation ideas, we're also going to help you with some new lead conversion. So one of the things we teach in FastCap is the difference between an immediate needs lead and a future needs lead. So we're going to actually walk you through how to treat these leads differently, how to create follow-up campaigns. We're going to create drip campaigns for you, as well as scripts to keep these two different kinds of leads constantly in motion. All right, so how are we doing that? How are we encouraging you to do all of this? Next slide, please. We're going to encourage you to lean into your eXp Realty toolkit. Now, as eXp agents, you do have access to Google Suites. We're going to ask each of you to start using your calendar as a daily planner. As part of FastCap and as part of eXp University, we teach courses on time blocking that can really help get you started. If you haven't taken Louis Galt's course on time blocking, I highly recommend jumping into our eXp Realty YouTube channel and taking that course right away. We also give you access to Bold Trail, which was formerly KV Core, as a CRM system. We are teaching courses every day in eXp World on how to get set up there. And we're also asking each of you to get connected to our new CMA builder that is done through Bold Trail to help with all of the daily activities we're asking you to get into. All right, so next, feeding your brain. Let's talk about getting into training and the difference between training and education. Who knows the difference between training and education? Anyone? Next slide, please. Yep, now Bold Trail.
Oh, I didn't know that. So training would be the actual taking action while learning, doing it, and education is just learning about it.
That's exactly it. Education is information you consume, while training is what you do with it. So we're going to ask you to get into training. So I'm going to give you here next slide. This is actually a schedule sample for what we do in FastCap. Now, I'm not saying you have to come in and take the training, although I highly recommend it for everyone, but this is a really good model to adopt. So if you're looking to do trainings for your teams, a really good model to adopt. So we do a live webinar 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We've got to-do lists on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's going to be that sort of on-demand take-home homework. There is an element of daily homework for them every day. So you're looking on how to do this for yourself. Build training into your calendar. Make sure that you're pulling up eXp University's new calendar and that you're going there to find new trainings this week, that you're getting connected to the YouTube channel, and make sure that you're purposeful about the trainings that you go to. You don't want to just satiate in any training. You want to take training that's right for you, right for whatever you're struggling in, training that solves your challenges and shores up your deficiencies. All right, next slide, please. We're going to also give you a FastCap roadmap. Now, again, you don't have to take this session, but this can be really good R&D for some of you who are looking to build training for yourselves. Now, the training is built in this order for a reason. We want to make sure that you're building your knowledge around finding a deal and then implementing. So really great structure here. You'll notice that every Friday we do FastCap Tribe Friday, which is very much like this session where we're going to be live on camera with each other. We're going to bring in a guest speaker to really build community and to give us some actionable steps about what we learned Monday and Wednesday. All right, next slide, please. Last thing we're going to do is ask you to learn your DISC profile. If this isn't something that you are familiar with or the agents on your team aren't familiar with, we do have a link that I can post here in the chat box that you can start taking your DISC profile for absolutely free. And a sneak peek, we are actually recording today a session by Leo Pareja where he is going to be teaching the DISC as part of our eXp University Masterclass. I wanted to have the link here. Unfortunately, we had to push it back by a week. So I'm going to just remind you to get familiar with DISC, and then I promise once that session drops, I'll make sure to post it here for you, Matthew, so that you can send it to the rest of the team.
Yeah, but that's awesome that we have access to that now and can utilize it for free. That's absolutely a really powerful thing when you understand the tendencies of, the DI and the SC and so on. So
awesome. Thank you. All right, next slide, please. All right, now getting into action. As part of FastCap, we can go through these pretty quickly. As part of FastCap, we do ask our agents to get into action with daily DPAs. So next slide, you're going to see that we ask them to do 5 real talks a day, at least 1 home previewed per day, at least 1 CMA, which is why we're asking them to get connected to that tool through Bold Trail, and then at least 2 follow-up efforts a day. So when I show the slide with all of the results that we've gotten after that first 6 weeks, this is how, this is why. We are also asking them, next slide please, to work on daily money makers. So money makers are going to be, in fact, if you go to the next one, yeah, there you go. I've got a full list of all the different money makers. Again, you can come in, you can take FastCap with us, or you can just use this as a great resource to get started for yourself or for your team. And then finally, we want you to invite accountability. So, we have built this program and the new EXPU very much off of Atomic Habits, understanding that what we're trying to do is not education, but training. What I want you to do is to put everything that you've learned today into action. And the best way to do that is by inviting accountability. So I asked all of you to share your wins with me as part of, an accountability exercise. What we do in FastCap and what we're encouraging all of you to do, next slide please, is we're asking everyone to get a running partner. Now, a running partner can be your sponsor, can be your team leader, can be a mentor. It can also just be, your wife. It can be anyone who you feel comfortable being accountable to, anyone who is comfortable holding you accountable to them, but make sure you are getting a running partner. All right. And finally, your goals are in front of you. Next slide, please. Want to make sure, I'm going to ask all of you to get out your phones. This is the part where you get to scan this QR code for instant access to eXp Realty's YouTube channel. I'm going to ask that all of you subscribe right now. We are putting on live training 5 days a week on the Realty channel. Now, Glenn has asked us to put everything on YouTube. He wants it to be in front of the firewall. He wants every other agent and brokerage to see what we're doing. We are fine putting our playbook out there because we know no one else is going to pick it up and do what we do with it, right? So all of our training is now going to be live on our eXp Realty YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribing. On Monday and Wednesdays, you can catch our level up sessions. We're also bringing to you our new winning clients. So we're going to be addressing working with buyers and working with sellers post NAR. We, of course, have executive masterclass every Thursday. And on Friday, you can catch us for the big agent meeting, or BAM, every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, hosted by Russ Lagan and the amazing growth team. We're going to bring you updates from the brokerage, updates from our leaders. We've got a winning clients corner with Brian Ellington, and all of the things that you need to know about eXpCon and about all of the growth that's happening. So make sure you are tuning in there every Friday. And I think that's all I got. I don't know if I've got anything left, Matthew. I think that's it.
We blew through it. I love it. So make sure you join the YouTube and subscribe. I'm already subscribed there. There's some great content, and we're pushing more and more all the time. And then, hey, let's tell them the date of the next FastCap. I think it's November 6th, 9th. What is it?
So great call out. We will be coming back to you the week after eXpCon, November 6th. Now, I do not have a QR code or a link yet because we would love to be able to post that QR code at eXpCon. I want to save some tickets there. But I will tell you, we do have some seats that we're going to be have some seats that we're going to be saving for our attractors and team leads. We're not giving them out yet, but we will. So pay attention to the chats that you're in. Pay attention to the people that you're connected to. You're now connected to me, so send me a direct chat if you need to know what's going on. Not giving out those spaces yet, but pay attention and make sure you get to eXpCon because we will be giving out over 500 spaces there alone.
Wow. So she just gave you the keys to the kingdom. Hungry ones get fed. So that means if you're hungry for this, you reach out to Candice on Workplace directly and say, hey, when can I sign up? I'm ready. I want it. I'm hungry. I want to get some deals in escrow, get some commission checks, right? Because there's people selling homes and making money.
And I love that question, Courtney. No, while a product like this at any other brokerage would absolutely be for an additional fee, here at eXp, no additional cost.
I love that. That's so awesome. We are the best training brokerage on the planet, and it's free. Right? I love it. So great stuff. Thank you, Candice. Thank you, everybody, for plugging in. We went a little bit long, but it was great stuff. And you got the QR code at the end. And you can find her on Workplace if you have direct questions regarding eXp University and trainings and things of that nature. Feel free to reach out. They're very responsive on Workplace. And yeah, thank you so much, Candice, for taking the time. Really, really appreciate it. Very grateful.
Yeah, thank you, Candice.
Thanks, Candice. It's awesome.
Thank you.
All right, you guys. Anything, Don Yoakum, Randy Bird, Tom Daves, anything that you want to share?
Well, thank you so much, Candice. So next week, we've got another special speaker to add additional value. So I encourage all of you, invite your team, your organization, and bring guests too. This is just amazing. So awesome.
Yeah, that's a great point, Tom. So don't be afraid to invite some of your non-EXP realtor buddies to come hop on our training. We'll train them. We'll train them up. And eventually they'll go, man, I get better training here than my brokerage. Where do you think they're going to want to go? Huh? So there you go. All right, you guys. Hey, Tom, give us the famous line about perspiration. Come on.
Well, now y'all got your inspiration. Time to put in the perspiration. Let's go. Let's grow.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's
Good job.
grow. All right, guys. Take
See you
care.
later.
Bye-bye.